welcome. My name is Irit. I'm a watercolor and mixed media artist, and on my channel I share weekly videos of everything and anything to do with watercolors. I am obsessed about the medium and certain colors of it, and I paint in a more, kind of unrealistic, colorful. It's my view of the world through rainbow glasses, let's say. So if you're looking for realism, you won't find a lot of it here. But if you want to have fun with watercolors and just, see how you can paint things without using reference photos, without trying to match colors to reality, then you're in the right spot, because that's what I'm all about. So grab a cup of coffee and enjoy the video, or paint along. I would love to, inspire you and get our creative juices going. So I'm starting with a sketch using my beloved Caran d'Ache Neocolor wand. I love these. I actually use a few of the Neocolor 2 here because I've said it before and I'll say it again. The color range of the Neocolor 2 is much, much better. And there are a few colors that are missing from the Neocolor 1. The Neocolor 1 is, both are wax pastels. Neocolor 1 is water resistant. Neocolor 2 is water soluble. However, because of their waxy texture, I find that also the two can work if you don't agitate them too much. They still maintain that kind of waxy quality, and they do resist watercolors to some degree. So if you kind of heavily sketch with the Neocolor 2 and then you lightly brush watercolors on top, it won't really agitate the pigment of the wax pastels. So I use both of them, but ideally I would love to use just the Neocolor 1 and not worry about it. I am still in a Greek state of mind. I went to Greece during the summer and I just have those images in my head of those beautiful whitewashed towns and blue domes and windows, and I just want to depict that. Now, I have learned over the years of painting that the key to first kind of developing my own style, and secondly, having a creative process that is enjoyable from start to finish. In my case, it meant no searching for reference photos. That whole process seemed essential when I started learning about painting, landscape or scenes. If you can't actually paint, on the spot, which, maybe that's in the cards one day. But I was in Greece on a family vacation. I was with my kids, and nobody wanted to let me sit in a cute Greek town and paint. So it wasn't in the cards for me. But mostly, you're taught, or we are taught, to use reference photos, and there are some amazing artists that work with that and it works for them. It doesn't work for me. I don't like it. And most of the time then I spend trying to find a good reference photo, and then you start with should it be your own photos, or is it okay to use someone else's photos? And when I say okay, I of course don't mean to infringe on any copyright issue. There are a lot of images online that you can use for free, that you have the permission of the photographer. When I used to kind of rely a lot on reference photos, I used Pixabay, and you can choose an option to only see images that are copyright free. So it's just should you use someone else's photo, or does it have to be your own? All these things, I thought about them, I admit it. And and then it's about finding the right photo, and then it's about should you print it, or if you have a tablet, you can just keep it there. And then, I don't know, like where do you stick it as you're painting? And then how much do you follow from it? So there's a lot of considerations that go into this. And at the end of the day, I realized that all of these things were not a must for me. I could paint without a reference photo if I wanted to. I don't paint in a realistic style. I don't need things to be correct in any, like correct, I'm doing like air quotes. What is correct? I don't need that. I don't want that. I just want to paint, and I have certain images in my mind. I choose colors that I love and shapes that I like, and I paint in a very free and expressive style, as you can see. And understanding all these things took a lot of time because, I'm not saying I discovered the wheel or anything, but I learned from a lot of teachers who encouraged their students to, explore and like do their own thing. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen like a lot of people just paint places from their imagination, I guess. And that is what I wanted to do. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm loving every moment of it. And I really don't feel the need to look at photos. And if I do, I can. And I feel like I can just do that at my at my own pace and time. And it doesn't have to be like, okay, look at a photo, pick a photo, print a photo, paint the photo. It could just be like make a mental note of something that I liked and that I want to add to my painting. So as you can see here, I'm just combining those blue domes with some of my beloved color mixing adventures. And yeah, it's working for me. Let's talk a little bit about supplies. I will try to list everything below, but sometimes I forget. So let's just talk about that. The paper is Handmade paper. I think this is the Andalusia pad. I don't know if they still make that paper. What I like about it, Handmade has a ton of different papers. They are a German manufacturer that have been making paper for centuries. And believe me, they know what they are doing. And their cellulose paper is fantastic. I really don't feel like, oh, how I miss to paint on 100% cotton. I love painting on 100% cotton, but I love to pay for cellulose paper and be able to, if I wanted to go through a pad in a week or two without feeling like I'm breaking the bank. So this is one of their cellulose papers. They make these blocks in different sizes with very, very heavy paper, which I love. A lot of it is like very white, like this one. You can see it's a very white paper, which also makes the colors pop. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It shows granulation beautifully. My point in telling you all of this is not necessarily you have to like hunt down this particular paper. The point is that you should try different things and see if they work for you. This paper is horrible for if you work in a lot of layers, if you do a lot of glazes, because colors lift very easily. It's one of those qualities of kind of, I don't want to call it student grade, because to me this paper is perfect. And student grade kind of implies that you're just, like sketching on it. It's not a paper that you would use for your, proper art or something like this. But yeah, you have to figure out if it works for your techniques. So a lot of the student grade papers that are cheaper, that are not 100% cotton in the case of like watercolor papers, the paint lifts very easily. For me personally, it's not a problem. I don't work in a lot of layers. I usually do 2 or 3 layers maximum, and I don't need some of the qualities of 100% cotton. I love that the paper here is so thick and affordable and white and shows granulation beautifully, and it just works really well for me. So don't, like discard certain supplies because you hear that, if you want to like that you should paint on the best paper, and the best means like 300 GSM 100% cotton or 600 GSM 100% cotton. It might be for you, but it's not for me. And if the point is that you try and see if it works for you. And then some papers I hate and I only use for like practice, or just to like use them up to make space in my collection or art supply stash for supplies that I love. Life's too short. Don't be precious with your paper. Use your art supplies. Use the ones you love the most. Don't save them for anything. Today is the day. So yeah, that's my advice to you. Okay, moving on to paint. I'm using, of course, my regular palette that I've used and loved for the last 1.5 years. I use this palette probably every day. And the colors that I used here are lavender, I have bright rose, I have Naples yellow, some quinacridone gold, olive green, and cobalt teal, and that gorgeous color, which I will be talking about more in future videos because I've already recorded them, so I can give you a spoiler, is the Hematite Burnt Scarlet Genuine from Daniel Smith. It's the color that you see kind of in the middle of the painting. It is just gorgeous, and I've had that color for, quite a bit. And I loved that color. I was like always like swatching it and it's so pretty. But I never been able to really include it in my paintings. I don't know, it just didn't work with my other colors until now. Somehow it's working. Maybe it's the topic of grease that kind of makes it work for me. I don't know, but it is a gorgeous, gorgeous color. It has beautiful separation and granulation. And it's just such an interesting, complex neutral to have in your palette. And I'm just loving it. I still use my Dusk Pink and sometimes Moon Glow, but I've been using this a lot, and the Hematite Burnt Scarlet Genuine, and it's just beautiful. So super happy that I included it in my palette, took a risk and brought in a new color, and it's working for me. The brushes. In my left hand, I have the Big Mama from Tracy Lebenzon. This is a beautiful handmade synthetic brush, and I just love it. And then in my right hand, now I switched, but the little brush is from Tintoretto. It's part of a set, and I think the shop where I bought it, it's called Agalo. It's an Italian shop. I think they're going to do a restock at the end of October. So I don't know if that particular set is going to be available. I talk about these, I think, every year or in the last year, a couple of years, in my gift guides, because I think they're a fantastic gift if you have a watercolor artist or enthusiast friend. They have beautiful brush sets, and I think I might pick up also this year. My birthday is coming up in November. I might pick up, they have now sets of the travel brushes, and they have like some travel quill brushes, and yeah, they usually sell out fast, so I'm a little bit regretting sharing with you this information. I'm just kidding. Hopefully they have enough and everyone can get what they want. But yeah, I love to have really, really nice travel brushes. And I sometimes use them, as they are in my studio. But of course, they are super versatile. And yeah, I love the Tintoretto brushes. They have some amazing synthetic brushes that mimic, different kinds of natural hair so well. So I think I'll grab myself a set of the travel brushes. They are relatively affordable. Anyway, the one I used before is from kind of a mix set that has a different kinds of brushes. It comes in this lovely canvas bag, and it's a fantastic gift. So if you have a friend that you think would enjoy it, the holiday season is soon upon us. Sign up for their mailing list in Agalo. I will do my best to remember to put the link in the description. If I forget, please remind me in a comment. But sign up for their, email list, and you'll be notified when they do a restock. As I said, things sell out quickly, and they do a restock like every just like a couple of months. So, if you miss the one in October, you'll probably won't get it for the holidays. Also, it ships from Italy, and I know a lot of my viewers are not in Europe. So yeah, it takes time. I'm not affiliated with them or anything. I just, I'm sharing the joy of fantastic supplies, and I just love the brushes that they offer there by Tintoretto. Jackson's also carry some of the Tintoretto brushes. I don't know if they carry this particular one that I'm using here, but there's another one that is very similar and easier to find. So I will link you to that one as well, if I remember. Anyway, I'm painting here. I'm having a good time. Things are going well, and I'm enjoying myself. And yeah, I can only wish you the same experience when you're painting a scene. I think one of the important things is to pick a place that has some meaning to you. I painted a lot of like beach scenes because I grew up on a I grew up next to the Mediterranean Sea, and my childhood is completely connected to the beach. It was summer, we went to the beach like every day or every weekend. Everything was revolving around the beach. It was the best place. Besides that, the town where I lived was a little bit boring. And yeah, so for me, beach means, childhood, and it's just like the best thing you can do. Now I live in a landlocked country, and while Austria is extremely beautiful, the nature here is just incredible. And yeah, there's a little bit of political turmoil at this time, but I come from the Middle East, so it all seems very calm in comparison. No rockets falling, and I'm laughing not because it's funny, because, that's one way to deal with extremely difficult things that are happening in the world. But yeah, so there's some turmoil going on. The prime minister recently resigned because he's they're investigating him for certain, I don't know, bribe allegations. I don't know. We'll see. We'll let the system work, and hopefully not everyone is corrupt. Can only hope. But yeah, anyway, digressing here much. So now I live in Austria, and Austria doesn't have like a beach. I mean, there are lakes, but it's also different weather. It's not like, the weather in Israel, which is where I'm from, or Greece. And so, yeah, I can only dream of being next to the beach. And I'm starting to understand. I've lived here for 10 years in Austria, and I lived for 30 years in Israel. And I'm starting now to understand this need that the Austrian people in my life seem to have to go to the sea and, sit and soak the sun with a lot of sunscreen, of course. But it's I understand this now. And of course we have warm days and sunshine, and the summers are getting hotter and hotter, sadly, because of global warming and all that. But it's not the same. It's just not the same. And this summer we really went for it, and went 2 times to Greece, and just it's just the best with kids, going to the beach. It's the best. So I have sunshine on my mind, Greece on my mind, and, dreaming of the next beach vacation. It's so weird for me because, if you grow up next to the beach and you go all the time to the beach, it's for me, when my family went on vacation, we didn't go to the beach because we had the beach all the time. So yeah, I guess everything depends on where you live. And yeah, okay. So not a lot going on in my painting. You can see that at a certain stage, things start to get slower, and kind of everything I add more carefully, and I take my time kind of figuring out what the painting needs. And you will see in a future video, either next week or the week after that, where I kind of put the finishing touches on this painting, because I stopped where this week's video is going to stop, which is in a couple of minutes. And when I went back to the painting, I felt it needed some more. So I'll talk to you about that in a future video. But for now, I leave you with this. Hopefully you enjoyed. And I am loving kind of combining my love of color and how colors mix with, memories of a lovely vacation, depicting a place through my eyes. It feels, just very kind of true to me and very authentic. And, I look at the painting and I can see, I can think of maybe some artists that have influenced me and that I learned a lot from, but it definitely feels like me. And I don't look at my painting and think like, oh, it kind of reminds me of this artist or that one. So, or maybe I just haven't met the artists that paint more similar to my style. But I'm really loving that, because that was always like one of my goals, to kind of find my style and create things that are more unique and like true to me. And I wish you a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon in another video. Take care. Bye bye.